Non-Christians are Jewish authors and make a logical decision. I've actually read the Bible already. There are no true atheists. True. Scientists have said God exists. They don't know which ones, however, and Jesus has walked the earth. Well, maybe some scientists have said it, but I don't know if it's a consensus that God exists in the scientific field. Know that God loves you, and I pray you find your way to him. The Lord's good. Thanks, yo. Okay. God exists. There's a maker behind everything. God changed. Oh, let's go. Request. President, I see you hiding. Oh, what the heck? Why is it?
Hello.
What's up, Ezra? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much. Do you believe God exists?
Yeah, I do. I believe in Jesus.
Okay.
Do you believe in God?
No.
No. So, what do you think happens when you die?
I don't know.
Like, you have no clue. Like you just don't know.
Literally, no. I have no clue.
So why don't you believe there's a God? Like, do you have an exact reason?
Well, at least for a specific type of gods, I do have a reason. Like, for a lot of the Abrahamic gods, I'm very sympathetic to problem of evil arguments. I also think there's a principle that a lot of people hold to deciding which theory is better called parsimony. And I think in a lot of theories or like depictions of God are like very unparsimonious. So those would be like a couple of reasons.
What was the first one you said?
The first one I said was I'm very sympathetic to problems of evil, which is basically saying that some conceptions of God are inconsistent. Their existence is inconsistent with like evil events occurring or something like that.
Are you talking about like, when people say like if he's an all good God, then why is there evil in this world?
Basically.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. Well,
yeah.
The root to that is free will. I don't know if like anyone's ever mentioned, or do you know what free will is?
Well, what is your definition of free will?
Free will, basically, God gave us the choice to do what we want to do. So good and bad. That's what free will is. He gave us free will to do what we wanted to do and choose like what we want to do. That's free will.
Okay. Is your definition the ability to choose otherwise or something like that?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Why would that explain evil being?
Okay, so if this world there was no evil in this world, then it would all be good. So that means we wouldn't have the option to do evil. We wouldn't have the option to do otherwise because we would be set to do these just to do good. But you get what I'm
saying? You're saying you're saying God wants free will so that we have the option to do good. Is that what you're saying?
No. So it's not like we're all robots and under like what he wants us to choose. That's like what salvation is.
Okay. Why do you think that? Why do you think if we have free will that we couldn't just always do the good?
I mean, I guess I don't get this idea of free will, right? Because in any case, when we say a cop prevented someone from freely exercising some bad action, right, like doing some crime, it would be saying they're doing a good thing. So if you just don't have that, if you don't share that sentiment where when someone with the power to stop an immoral act achieves that's not a good thing, then you would be committed to saying cops are doing bad things when they impede on people's free will.
That's true.
You think cops are doing bad things when they stop evils by impeding on people's free wills?
No.
Even then, it doesn't make sense anyways, because say the Schmolocaust. In the Schmolocaust, the Germans acted against innocent people's free will. So in either case, people's free will is already being impeded.
Yeah.
So if the free will is already being impeded, why not God just prevent it? Doesn't make any sense.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying. I get you.
There's not less free will being impeded. Free will isn't even a theodicy in any case, because all free will comments on is the nature of decision making, and whether or not that the nature of that decision doesn't talk about the problem of evil, because it's not the free will aims to explain how people deliberate or the nature of their actions. Well, but that's kind of besides the point, the nature of their actions, because what the problem of evil targets is that God is understood to be all good and all powerful. Yet being all good and all powerful, he does not prevent evils, which is like just a bad, like if I saw Superman and he was sitting on a bench right across from a school and sees a guy with an AK walk in and start pewing, and you can move faster than the speed of light, could tank a collapsing star, people would just boo Superman and call him a bad person and throw tomatoes because he had reason to act, because he recognized the guy's intentions, and he had no greater reason to not act. right? It was a bad thing. He has the power to stop it. He could have done it harmlessly. He could have just grabbed him and put him in a jail cell at like subsonic speed without hurting him at all. If
Yeah.
Superman stood there and let him pew up a school, would you not say Superman's bad? Because if you do, then the sentiment's carried for God, who's all powerful, and just lets all of those school pewings happen. Never acts to prevent them.
Well, the thing is, you're comparing Superman to like a god, basically saying that he has to
No,
be
the
good.
idea is just if there's an agent who understands something is bad and has the power to stop it, then them not acting to stop it is doing something bad.
Well, what I'm
they're
trying to say
culpable for not.
is it's because they have free will too. Yes, you could stop someone who's doing something bad thing, but if you don't, it doesn't mean you're bad. It just means that you have free will too to do what you want to do too. You don't have to stop that person. You don't, but you also don't have to let it do it. That's what free will. You can. We all have, like, every human has free will, so you can't just say it's bad.
I guess I don't understand. So if, let's say, in the kindergarten it was your little sister, and you found out that Superman was literally on the bench across from the school and watched the whole thing unfold and he didn't lift a finger, you're just gonna say, well, I guess it doesn't matter. It was his free will. I would say he's a despicable person for not acting to prevent it.
Why are you using Superman?
Because we're talking about a character or an agent who's extremely powerful. And now we can imagine God, who's infinitely more powerful. If we can understand it in the case of Superman, and there's even less room for us to be sympathetic towards God.
No, I get that, but he does. But Superman didn't have, like, he could do either one because he has free will too.
Yeah, but whether or not he could do either one, if he just stood there and pewed up the school, I would say he's despicable. Why would he not do anything? He was the only one capable of stopping it, and he could have done it without any effort. He's fought people who've had the powers to destroy galaxies, and he can't just take a guy with a pew-pew and put him in a prison effortlessly and allow a number of children who have families just unalive. You would say that guy's fine because it was his free will? No, I wouldn't. Neither would Yuji, I would suspect. We would say
for sure.
He's a very bad person. God is even more. He can think universes into existence. I don't see how it's even of any dispute that he has a problem in, kind of extinguishing these evils.
Well, God limited his power. He limited his power to give us free will because he limited his power. Yes, you're right. He could save everyone right now and make us all do good and allow us not to do any evil. But he limited his.
He limits his choices, not his power.
I've never understood that.
For God to limit his power.
You realize if God made us all do good, we wouldn't be making the own choice. It would be God making our choice. If he limited everyone to doing good, how is it not true?
Well, look,
what do you mean it's
possible that there's a person who, with free will, can choose only to do good things?
Wait, repeat that? Sorry.
Is it not possible a person with free will chooses to only do good things?
Yeah, it is possible.
Oh, okay. So then,
I mean, it depends what way.
It
depends what way you put it, but yeah, it is possible.
Okay, well, just imagine a world where everyone does the good.
It's not possible though. You're giving an if. That's an if.
Said it was possible.
You realize that's impossible. That's literally impossible.
So the idea is like you agree it's possible. There's an apple that's red, but I'm saying, well, then imagine a whole bucket of apples that are red. But you want to say that's then impossible, and I just don't see the symmetry breaker. Like I don't really see what breaks the tie between a single person doing it and then a whole population. What's like the number of people makes it then impossible? So one person can freely only do good, but if it's everyone, they then can. Why would you say something like that?
Well, that's also kind of why I said it depends what way you put it. Because if you're talking about good, like what like how we think what is good, like morals and stuff, and like helping a grandma cross the street, or if you're talking in a sin, like in a way of sin, if you're talking about like no one ever sins, because then that's not possible. Because everyone sins. But if you're just talking about like they never do bad to anyone, they don't hurt people. Like it depends what way you're talking. That's why I said it depends.
So let's just take any case where, let's say in the case of the school Pure again. So the person has free will. He chooses to walk in the school and do what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe why he does that is explained by certain facts about his life that, furnish this type of mental state psychologically as to some depressed state where he thinks it's, at this point, he wants to take out his anger. What's not impeding on free will is just for God to change the guy's psychology, and then he can still make that free choice. So what he's doing is he's extinguishing the reason for the guy to act while the guy can still freely act. Like, let's say there's some dude who just had some type of psychology where all they can ever think about is, I don't know if I can say the word, so I'm going to say shabbing someone. right? Well, it doesn't take away God's not taking away the guy's free will by just taking away the knife. But now he doesn't have an instrument to do that free act. Now, whether or not he doesn't have the instrument doesn't stop him from having free will.
Right.
Yeah. Here, like I'm gonna use. You know the story of Adam and Eve, right?
Yeah.
The incest one.
What? Oh, maybe not that far, but like, what's it called? So Adam and Eve, it was a garden. They could eat of any tree they wanted to, any tree in that garden, but God put that one tree that they couldn't eat out of. If He never put that tree that they couldn't eat out of with the fruit of knowledge and all that, they would have never had the choice to. That means they would have never taken it.
Did they have free will before they put the tree there?
No, let me finish.
Oh, sure.
Look, yeah. So they could have never They could have never chose that tree if He didn't put it in there. So they wouldn't have a choice, even if they wanted to. They couldn't because they didn't have the option to. But God put that in there so they could choose what they wanted to do. Of course, since we're humans, they use the free will that God gave them to pick the tree.
Look, I think there's just a confusion.
How?
There's a difference between taking away someone's free will and someone limiting the range of things someone can freely act to do, right? Because what it means to be able to freely act is just maybe something like, well, maybe I don't even need to talk about that, but in any case, you wouldn't say God is impeding on our free will by not making me fly like Superman because I want to freely fly like Superman and I can't, right? What God is, you can have constraints such that we can't do certain things, and then we could just freely choose between the things we can do. So if God made it such that we can only do good things, like, look, let's say I can either donate $5 or $6 to charity. Now I can freely choose to do either 5 or 6, and both of them are good things to donate. Now imagine a world like that where the range of possibilities are only good things, right? But it's up to my will and my volition to freely pick which goods to do.
If it was a range of where we can only do good things, then we wouldn't have a choice to do anything else but good.
Yeah,
but
that's a good
you still have free will. And that would be the best possible world because a world with only good and reconciles the free will problem.
But then there's only one
philosophical argument for the reason.
Then both in the scenario described, the agents have free will and they only do the best things. They only do good things.
You still wouldn't have a choice.
But that doesn't make it. Well,
because
of course you have a choice.
Even if it was a world
where
everyone did good and you had free will, you still wouldn't have a choice to do evil because you can only do.
You don't have the choice to do evil. Just like in this world, we don't have the choice to fly like Superman. But that's not saying that
you can't compare that because you're comparing something literally impossible. You can't that's physically impossible.
So why God? But look, God could just make it physically impossible. We sin.
We wouldn't have free will then.
No, you will. It's already stipulated. That's okay. Again, that's just to confuse the scenario where it's just baked in and stipulated in the scenario of free will. And I mean, it's clearly explained that you have free will because the idea is you can freely choose what goods to do. I can either walk this grandma across the street or I can go in the opposite direction and donate to the guy's charity right before work or something. And in both cases, I'm doing something good and I can only choose between one and that my choice can be free, such that we can have a world where all the array of opportunities to act are all good.
That'll be massively limiting your free will because in all reality, while you're walking the grandma across the street, you could want to trip her because your intrusive thoughts. I mean, that's just part of having.
I don't understand where you got this idea that limiting your free will is a bad thing. In any case,
it's already limited.
It's not though.
It obviously is limited.
We can think about
by limited.
We can have whatever idea we want.
You can't use flying.
I guess we don't want
to. You're bringing up the literal laws of Earth.
Hold up, guys.
Earth says you can't fly.
In any case,
that's just the laws of how the world works. You can't.
In any case, you're not actually having limited free will. What's being limited is the range of things you can freely act to do. It's not to say that your actual will to act is limited. It's just the set of options you have are limited. And if that were a bad thing, then I don't know at what point it's a good thing to have more range of things, because then it's not clear to me why it's a good thing that I can't fly like Superman, given God limited my choice to fly.
You can't compare an action to a choice. That's not how it works.
This is getting a little crazy.
The choice to act is your free will.
We need a real.
It's more like it's more of a decision. You're comparing an action like flying, like super strength, something that's in your mind.
I can't freely choose.
Free will is in your mind. Like you choose what you want to do, and you turn that into an action.
I don't know what
but you can't say I want to fly, and then you go off flying
in your
space.
mind. Look, in any case,
we can think about flying. We can think about anything.
All we're saying is that in a world in which God limits our options to only do good things, where we freely choose which goods to do, is a better world, and a possible world that God can achieve actualizing, given He's omnipotent.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, that's how a lot of people like the Christian faith view the afterlife. Whenever they're with God, and it's just all the embodiment of love and whatnot. But I mean, there's multiple philosophical reasons.
Do you think we have free will in heaven, or we have the choice to do evil in heaven?
I don't know. That's a good question. I obviously don't know what the afterlife is like, but that's just how the Christian faith views it. And I think we're not bound by our physical nature of our physical.
Look, if you don't think we do evils in heaven,
let me talk. Our physical flesh is actually what causes a lot of sin, like our lust. Our lust blinds us. We do evil things out of lust, out of lust, greed, all those things. We don't have that.
Okay, all I asked you was whether you could do evils. I'm not asking for the causal explanation. It seems like you're appealing to flesh. I'm not interested in that. But look, in any case,
I was explaining that a lot of evil comes from being in your flesh.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of besides the point. But
not at all.
In any case, where we're at, well, it is, because the causal explanation isn't relevant to the current point we're on.
But
it doesn't turn on anything what causes us to do evil.
Yeah, look, and the afterlife, without our flesh, we wouldn't have the desires to do such evil. And whenever we're with God, whenever we're with God.
In any case,
go ahead.
Are you just going to keep repeating yourself? And look, everything you keep repeating is also not relevant. I don't know how many times I have to say it. Look, so suppose in a world in which, because it seems like you're indifferent to whether in heaven we have free will, or rather we could choose evils. Okay, well, if in heaven we can't choose evils, and that's a good world.
I didn't say that.
And we also have free will. Then I don't see how God
I said we want to have the desires to choose.
I never said you said that. I don't know where you got. I assumed that you said something of the such. I said since you're indifferent to the belief. You said I don't know, which just means you have an indifferent attitude whether in heaven we could do evils or not. And if you have the belief we have free will in heaven, whilst it's possible, we potentially in heaven can't do evils, and that just means that if that were true, then it could be had of the current world. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but we're in our physical bodies on a physical journey, so we have free will and we're separate from God.
Yeah. I don't know what that was responding to, but look, God could just make a world. I mean, where are we? Where's the hang up? God makes a world where our choices are limited.
You realize? Have you ever looked at a timeline? Have you ever looked at a timeline of how like little humans have existed on Earth? How small that looks? And the grand. We're talking about. Yeah, I don't know. Look, where we're at is I'm trying to understand what's the hang up on God making a world where we only do goods freely. Well, I mean, there's a few philosophical answers, but I'm not God. I don't have the answers for you. But one could be because you can't have wisdom and you can't value the good without experiencing the evil. So this physical journey. Does God have free will?
Yes. Yeah, he does. Without a doubt.
Let me finish my point.
Can God do evils?
God damn, this motherfucker's annoying.
Because if it's possible that there exists an agent that has free will and can't do evils, I don't understand how God can create us like that.
So you want us to all be God?
Okay, so then why wouldn't he make us like that?
Why did he not make us all like God? I mean, that's what Scripture is to follow God's word and be like God.
Look, there's a sense where we're like God. Yeah, and I don't see the problem with being like God in that sense.
That's what the Bible is for, to walk like God. Therefore, you better your life.
I'm asking, why not God make humans where they can only freely do good things?
Because then you wouldn't have a choice.
No, again, you already agreed God has free will and God can do evils. Okay, so just like that, we have the choice to only do good things.
You're thinking of God as like a person, dude.
Like, I don't know why you would even say that, because then that just would be an objection to your own view. Because then you're saying God doesn't have free will if God has free will and can do evils.
You're thinking of God like a person.
Well, God is a person.
No, he's not. He's not like, his thoughts are not our thoughts. Literally, I mean, he is.
That just makes him a person.
People think of him as a conscious mathematics. I mean, there's all sorts of philosophical
conscious mathematics.
Wait, when you say you're thinking of God like a person, do you mean you're thinking of God like a human?
Yeah, like you're humanizing God.
Not human, a person. By person, what I don't mean is anything relating to a human. I just mean maybe having private experiences.
You didn't use the word person. They used the word person first, and what they meant.
I know, but
I'm just making it clear. The sense of person that I have associated is just not one that has anything to do with humanity. It just has to do with
let me put it like this:
having private experiences, unique experiences, having.
Wait. Theism antagonist. Do you think Superman is a person?
I don't believe in Superman. But anyways,
Let me talk. Look, in the story of Superman, is Superman a person?
Yes.
Is he a human?
Yes.
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's from a different planet.
I don't really care.
He's Kryptonian, so you don't have to be a human to be a person.
Yeah, all Davy's doing is like some intuition pump. How there's cases where we would say things are persons that are obviously not human.
Listen,
right? So it's just not essential to having personhood that you be human.
You have limited knowledge. You have limited knowledge. God does not have limited knowledge. If you have unlimited knowledge, you will not have any desire to do any evil. That's part of having unlimited knowledge because you are enlightened. If you have all the knowledge, you will not have. We're not
talking about being omniscient. We're just saying that the agent's options of choice are only good things, and they freely choose what good things to do. Yeah, never said they will be omniscient.
Yeah, but how are you gonna know what good is if you never experienced evil?
Does God not? I thought God written it on our hearts, and that's why we're culpable on Judgment Day because we already know right from wrong. Is that not your view?
Yeah, so we do know good.
Why would you act something like that? That's just strange.
It's written in our hearts.
Yeah, look, so we already know what's right and wrong. Okay, so then why can't we? God can make it such that our options of choice are only good things, and we freely choose what good things to do.
Can we talk about science and shit? Talk.
Wait, no, don't pivot away. Why can't God do something like that?
Wait, repeat the question.
God makes it such that we have a limited range of options that are only good things that we freely choose what good things to do.
Yeah, I still think my argument holds that we wouldn't know what good is if we never experienced evil.
But you just said that he wrote it on our hearts.
Yeah, through intuition and through walk through the way he walks.
No, but writing it on our hearts means that we know it from the day we're born.
No, in any case, why does knowing the distinction between good and bad matter?
The point is, we all have most of us have a good morals built into us. But not all of us. But I mean,
but you just objected saying that we wouldn't know what's good and bad. Like,
wait, so if most of us have good morals built in, then most of us don't need evil to know good.
Well, I gotta conceptualize what you just said. What'd you say?
If most of us have good morals built in, like you just said, then most of us don't need evil to know good.
No, because people have good morals and they still do evil all the time. I have good morals.
What does that have to do with what I just said?
I have good morals and I've done horrible things. How about you?
What does that have to do with what I just said?
Well, you're saying that you don't have to experience.
If you have good morals, then you know good, right?
No, I mean it's not like you know good. It's more like you.
You know what it means to do a good thing. You know what it means for something to be good. If you have good morals,
I'm talking about valuing. I'm talking about valuing good. If somebody does something nice for you, if you've never had somebody punch you in the face, you want to appreciate that somebody's done something nice to you. That's all you've ever known. If everybody,
I could imagine them punching me in the face and thinking it would hurt.
No, because you wouldn't know what pain is. You never experienced pain. You want that programmed in your brain?
Well, I mean, I could imagine like
Incorrect.
You know, their fist going into my face, and that seems like that would be something that I don't want.
Oh, you can imagine it from previous pain you felt.
But look, let's suppose we don't know what evil is. How does that matter?
Because that's the whole point. You can't have good without
also evil. there could be pain that I felt like if I went to the gym or something, right?
Oh,
I don't know what did he? Wait, you realize you just said you can't know good without evil? Well, exactly. I don't know why you would say that.
One, because it's the contrast. Only reason we recognize good. Only reason we recognize good is because evil. We've experienced bad.
That's just repeating what you said. I thought you were going to say something novel. But look, imagine, like you said, a world where you never get punched or anything, so you never experience pain. How would you not know what not pain is? Right? You could just describe the sensation you're currently having as something like not pain, or vice versa. If you are infinitely tortured or something, you can describe the sensation as painful, and you don't need to know the contrast sensation. You could just label the sensation painful, whether or not you're familiar with the contrast.
Okay, I've never felt pain before. Describe it to me.
I can't describe it to you. I think those are concepts you would have to be familiar with to
concept you have to feel. Yeah.
But in any case, I just explained your confusion. In a world where I live in the Arctic and I have certain sensations I could call freezing, I don't need to know warmth to know that I'm freezing. You can describe the sensation as freezing without being familiar with warmth.
That's a negative feeling. You can't fully appreciate a positive feeling without negative. If you've never experienced
if I've never been cold in my life, I don't know that I'm not cold.
That's a negative feeling.
Try and convince us. Try and convince us that if you
feel cold because you feel cold because that's physical pain. The coldness is a physical pain on your body. You're cold. That's different.
Wait, but I don't understand. So the point we were at is that now I'm even forgetting what your objection was, because I don't see what's the issue in not ever knowing what evils are. Was it that you said you can't know you're doing goods without evils?
No.
Yeah, that was okay.
No, let me talk. Okay, sure. Just go ahead. Well,
I didn't even ask my question. I was just recapitulating the dialectic. But okay, yeah, where we're at is I'm trying to understand why I think I can't know I'm doing something good without knowing what evils are.
It's not necessarily knowing that you're doing something good. It's more so appreciating and valuing the good things.
No, but what you said was that I can't know I'm doing something good if I don't know what evils are.
Let me conceptualize it like this. I've experienced the absolute depths of hell on earth, right? And from that circumstance, I'm talking where I've wanted to look down a gun barrel like the most horrible gut-wrenching feelings for months. Okay, because of that time period, which I'm still in and out of a little bit, not that bad, but I've been down there. Because of that experience, when I see my family, I hug them tight. I love harder. I love harder. I'm responding to the past experiences that I've had a direct encounter with evil. Exactly.
We're not asking you for that. That's just irrelevant.
Before that, I took things for granted. And yeah,
okay, I don't need a biography about you. Look, what I'm interested in knowing the answer to is why would I think if I can't yeah, okay. Why would I think that if I don't know what evils are, I can't do goods? Or I can't know.
You're changing the vocabulary that I'm using. I didn't say you can't do goods, but you wouldn't value love like you would without experience evil.
Wait, so you agree that
you wouldn't value the good things because you wouldn't know the difference. It's the contrast that tells you what's what. You don't realize that?
But what does doing the difference matter? Like if
monkeyboy, can I ask you a question?
It's not a hard concept.
Hold on.
Excuse me.
Crumb it up is crazy.
So suppose that if I don't know something is good and I do some action, is it then not good because I don't know it's good? Or can something be good unbeknownst to me?
I have a question for you, monkeyboy. And,
you can wait.
And it refers to this.
One sec.
If you wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
it might make sense to you.
One sec. Just like wait a little bit longer.
So can you answer that, theism?
Repeat your question. I'm gonna hit my vape. Repeat your question.
Yeah, so what I'm not understanding is does it somehow take away from an act of being good if the agent doesn't know it's good?
You could still do good, but you wouldn't value it. You wouldn't appreciate what good is. You wouldn't even appreciate love for its full capacity.
Yeah, but that's just talking about my psychology, which is beside to the point. We're talking about whether or not I can still do moral things whilst not knowing the distinction between good and bad. And in any case, if you're saying that I could still do the good and just not appreciate them, well, I can still do the good, and that's all that matters. And if I could still do the good, and God can make a world in which the range of options are only good things, and I only freely choose between good things, I don't see why God doesn't make that world.
Because you wouldn't know what good is. I mean, it's literally that.
Monkeyboy, do you think
that's just
not? Do you think like?
How does that make? How would you ever?
I asked you if not knowing that you're doing good, can you still do goods? And you said yes.
Yes, you can.
And I said, okay, so then why does it matter? Then why would you just respond right now? You wouldn't know that you're doing good.
Well, I mean, you might have a slight knowledge of what good is or supposed to be, like our intuition.
If the point is that what God values is that agents freely do goods, and that even if they don't know they're doing goods, they could do goods, and God could limit the range of options to only do goods, then God is fulfilling his utmost desire by having all agents do good, whether or not they know that they're doing goods or not. Right? And then they can all get to heaven. I don't see how that's problematic.
Can I ask you something? If you were born and everything you ever wanted was handed to you, you never had any hardship, what do you think your life would look like in 20 years? Do you think you would actually be happy?
Look amazing.
I disagree, actually, personally.
Okay, so maybe you're just going to say something psychological, which doesn't make any sense, because if heaven's an eternally bliss place where, again, you said you're indifferent,
and we take our wisdom from our physical journey into heaven.
I don't see how that objection isn't mirrored for heaven.
Okay, how about
if you're saying a world where I can only do goods is somehow bad, if in heaven I only do goods, how's
imagine if there was this special one-time case where a child was born in heaven, okay, and it's been 20 years in heaven. Does their life get any worse?
Wait, what?
He said, imagine there's a child that was born in heaven. After living for 20 years, is their life get worse?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we can totally fathom what it's like to be in the presence of God. But
okay, so it's epistemically possible that someone lives for 20 years with no hardship and still has an amazing life, right?
Well, like I said, the only reason I said I don't know is because it'd be in the direct presence of God. So I really,
logically,
I'd say no. Logically, I'd say no.
Okay, then I don't understand your answer. You're saying I don't know, but no.
Well, I'm saying my mind says no, but I also don't discredit of what
makes no sense at all.
Yeah. But being in the presence of God, I don't know what the afterlife is truly like. So I mean, but yes, if somebody was born in heaven, if somebody was born in heaven, we have limited brains, dude. And in the afterlife, we don't have limited brains, so we're enlightened. You know, it's different. But yes, if you want to compare the two.
What is the point? You said that if I had a world where I don't even know how this everything handed to you thing is analogous, because what's not being said is anything I desire I'm obtaining. But I don't see, is that not true of heaven, that all the desires? Yeah, that's just a stupid analogy and doesn't seem to respond to anything. Look, the point is that if
you can't conceptualize the contrast being good,
doing good is the good thing. If doing good is a good thing, trivially, and without knowing you're doing goods, you could do goods. And God desires agents to do goods, and God can limit the range of actions to where it's only goods, where they all freely do good.
We're going in circles.
Problematic?
we're going in circles, so I'll say this: what is good?
You never responded. If there's
no objective morality, there's
Oh
no
my
good.
God,
Right?
no.
So what is good, buddy?
No.
What is good, buddy?
Wait.
What is good?
Okay, wait.
You have no objective morality. Your opinion. It's your opinion. It's subjective.
I don't know where you got that. I don't believe in objective
barely
morality.
hear you,
But look, in any case, you're just dodging what I'm asking. I'm asking, what's the problem? Look, stop trying to shift it to meta ethics. I'm asking you something very clear.
We've been going in circles, bud.
No, you haven't. Look, just attempt to respond to what I'm saying. What's being said is that you said it's possible that there's a world where agents can only freely do good if God limits the range of possibilities. Okay. And you said that what's not essential to doing good things is knowing that you're doing goods. So, okay, we can have a world where agents don't know they're doing goods. They only do goods. And how's that problematic? And they freely do the goods. How's that problematic?
Because you can't. Only reason you can know what good is if you experience the physical life where you experience the good of it.
Okay, we're saying you don't know the good. I'm asking what's the problem.
He keeps saying the stupid stuff that you could obviously just ask him, has God experienced the physical life? No, he still knows good. Then what you're saying is bullshit.
But look, you're making
God a human again. He's
human. What you're saying is for someone to know good, they must have these things. That would obviously apply to God. God is a someone.
God is literally the creator of everything. So yeah, he knows everything.
That doesn't matter.
So he knows.
Can I ask a question?
Is God a someone or is God a something?
Obviously, God's a someone.
He's not a physical person. No.
We didn't ask if he's a physical person. You don't have to be a physical being to be a person.
Look, he just made it clear to himself. He's saying physical person, like contrast to being non-physical person.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, well, God's a non-physical person. Okay.
God,
so
whatever that fucking means.
Consciousness. Yes.
Okay, so God's a non-physical person. Okay, so what's the problem there?
What's the problem with what? I'm confused.
Oh my God.
No, you agree he's a non-physical person,
Does
right?
God know what good is prior to creation?
Dude, you're diving way too deep into this. Like, I'm not fucking God. What the fuck?
Okay, so if the answer is I don't know,
about your belief.
If the answer is I don't know, you can work with that as well, Jack. Then you can just work with epistemic possibility.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess if you don't know that whether or not God could know what good is prior to creation, then it's going to follow that you don't know that there's any inconsistency between knowing what the good is and not having ever encountered any evil.
I mean, there's a little bit of conflict in that because I view God as, I think time is an illusion technically. I think God lives in the 5D or 6D, and he's in a different dimension where he's not bound by time.
So you're like a theorist or something?
I think technically everything that's going to happen has already happened. So in that sense,
oh yeah, he's a B theorist.
I don't know what a B theorist is, dude. This is kind of how I conceptualize God. Don't categorize me as anything.
Possible world where God doesn't create?
I don't believe in multiverse.
I didn't ask you that. I was saying, was it possible for God not to have created?
It's like a hypothetical.
Again, I don't know. I'm not God.
So it's epistemically possible.
I think it's in his nature. I think that's.
So it's epistemically possible that God didn't create. At that world, would God know what good was?
You're diving way too deep, dude. I don't know. To be frank.
You don't know, then you don't know there is a contradiction between knowing what the good is and not having encountered evil.
You're taking, well, yeah, but I can't fathom the entirety of God, so I can't speak of what God really is because I'm a limited brain. I acknowledge that.
I think you're understanding the objection that's being posed. Do you think you can try restating it?
Restate what you said?
Explain it to him. I don't know if he tracked.
Don't know whether, had God not created, if that were possible, that God would not know what the good was, right? Because there wouldn't have been any evil at that world, right? And so it follows that you don't know.
I think God is the idea of all ideas. So I think every single idea you could
idea of all ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. It's like he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. It's almost like he doesn't want to understand the problem.
No, I can definitely see where the conflict would be, but that's why I'm saying I don't know.
You're making a claim, right? Which is that you can't know the good without knowing evil.
If you can't know the good without knowing evil, then you wouldn't answer I don't know to Jack's questions. You would just say no.
That's false. That's false. Good comes from God.
First of all, I said you can't appreciate and truly value what is good, and you can't truly
appreciate. You can just substitute that, right? Would God appreciate and truly value the good at a world where He didn't create?
Yeah, I mean, are you going to be satisfied with
one aspect of
I'll give you an I don't know, and I'll lean more towards no for you because I really don't know. But to move it on, we'll say technically by my logical brain, I'll say no.
Do you think that like if you say I don't know, that like ends the conversation or something, because that we can still railroad you down the conclusion?
No, we can keep going. I really want to get in like.
Yeah, if the answer to the question is I don't know, then you don't know if there's an inconsistency.
But I could fire back and say that's why he created us, is to embody love.
That's not the question.
Before creation, God wasn't all good.
I don't know the guy.
That means you just don't know.
But you said you're leaning towards no. If you're leaning towards no, then that just means you're leaning towards before God created, God was not all good.
I don't think there was a concept of good and evil before there was existence, like physical existence.
So wait, it existed. Okay, physical.
So there was no concept of good and evil before creation?
Yeah, before creation, I think there's a lot of things there was no concept of.
When you say there's no concept of, do you mean like God didn't conceptualize it in his head?
Yeah.
I thought he had the idea of all ideas.
He had the idea of all ideas, but that doesn't mean it was.
Isn't the idea of all ideas and him having an idea that encompasses every idea?
You piece of shit.
Look, was he not omniscient before creation? Because that could just make the concept easier. Like, look, let's say the idea of unicorns. There's a proposition unicorn exists. God was omniscient.
I'm sitting back here
know that's true or false. You must have all the concepts.
You want to talk about the Big Bang or something?
No,
we want to talk about how you're just.
Y'all are putting me in a corner. I told you. As somebody that's not arrogant like you guys, I admit that I cannot fathom the entirety of God, because it's physically impossible to fathom what God actually is. You realize that, right? So you putting me in a corner, me admitting that I can't fathom the entirety of God.
You believe the thing you can't.
No, we're not. We don't care that your answers to the questions are I don't know. We care that your beliefs.
Yeah, because you start talking about the Big Bang, and it's a bunch of I don't know. It's a bunch of I don't know. The Big Bang, motherfucker.
Yeah. You notice how we just fucking said we don't have a problem with you saying I don't know.
What's the default state of the universe?
You notice how
nothing, non-existent.
Notice how we just said we don't care that you're saying I don't know. We are not saying haha, you're saying I don't know. We're not talking about that. We're saying that your beliefs are inconsistent.
I don't really understand you saying that you can't fathom God. If that's to mean you can't understand God, and how do you understand saying God exists if you don't have an understanding of God? What are you saying there exists?
Do you know every single math equation? But you still know math exists, right? What kind of fucking
math?
We don't have to know everything about God. We don't have to know everything about God to know that He exists.
Can you shut up? Can you shut up for a moment? Yeah, pipe down. Look,
that makes sense.
That's because mathematics.
What you just said was so stupid. What the fuck?
That's because mathematics. Exactly. That's because because
I can't fathom the entirety of God. I can't say He exists.
That's because
that shows your ego.
To fathom math doesn't mean you know all theorems of math.
And I don't know all the philosophical reasons of God and how He was before us.
It's more like if you don't know
what it means to fathom God is just. I mean, look, what it means to fathom math exists is just that there's like some formal system, some type of arithmetic.
I don't think you have to get into that. I think you just have to have some basic understanding of what math is.
Analogous. Hello.
Hey, we'll get to you in 1 sec.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think in order to have an understanding of math.
If she's a theist, we might want to switch to her.
Yeah, although there's one girl that wanted to ask a question for a while.
Hi.
Hey.
So I have a question for monkeyboy. And I'd like you to try to put yourself in these shoes so maybe you can understand from a Christian's perspective. But do you have children?
No.
If you don't,
why are you laughing?
Then you don't. I mean, that's a serious question.
I have 3 children.
Okay.
I've met them all. They're just as cute as he is.
Okay, stop.
No homo.
Okay, so if you're outside playing in the yard and one of your children, your smallest child, runs towards the road and there's cars coming, what are you going to do? You're going to try and stop them, right? You're going to correct that behavior, right? Because you don't want to see them get hurt, correct?
All right, you guys see where she's going. You don't even have to finish.
Yeah.
Go.
So then you continue on throughout their childhood doing the same thing. They run towards the road. You stop them. You correct them.
Look, here's the problem, right? Does God need to be corrected in order to do the good?
I'm saying as a father's perspective or a mother's perspective, you're going
already with the dodging and not understanding the question.
Well, you didn't let me finish what I was saying.
Here, we understand where you're going with that. Does God need to be corrected in order to do the good?
No. So the child grows up, becomes an adult, and they want to run out into a road.
Grow up? Did God grow up?
I'm talking about a person as a father.
Oh my God.
Okay. So the child grows up, they become an adult, and they willingly run into a road full of cars. Does that make the father a bad father? It doesn't, because they grew up knowing you can't do that or something bad is going to happen to you, right?
Wait, what?
So as God, being our father, He corrects us, okay? But
could God give the person the knowledge to not do those things without correcting them?
You have to be taught. You have to be willing to.
Why couldn't he have made them with that knowledge?
Because it goes all the way back to God was the first thing. God was all there was. He made his children, which were the angels first, and then his children here.
Maybe we should switch to A.
No,
Ziegler.
we're asking
Yeah,
why.
if someone's going to talk to her, it's not me.
And let's switch to A. Ziegler. She's a theist.
Hello?
Are you a theist?
No, I'm not an atheist.
No,
A theist.
You believe in God?
Do I believe in God? Do I believe in God?
Yes.
Yeah, we're asking if you're theist, not atheist.
He doesn't know what that
Yeah. Yeah, I believe in God.
Okay, perfect.
So I just read the prompt. It says, "Are there convincing reasons to believe God exists?" And I just have one. I don't think that like any sane person will truly believe that everything just came, all these beautiful things in the world, cats, dogs, humans, just came from an explosion.
Okay, Davey, this is your wheelhouse right here.
By the way,
how's
this my wheelhouse? Wait, by the way, monkeyboy, you could have brought up the problem of animal suffering that whole conversation with that guy.
It's interesting.
I don't think none of his theodicies would have worked.
You don't respond to our questions. It's interesting.
What questions? What questions? Look, I'll answer. I'll answer all the questions you have.
You just made extremely stupid claims, like he couldn't put the knowledge into it.
Don't be mean. She's nice. She's a nice person.
It's putting yourself in a perspective of a father, because as a Christian,
I'm a father.
God is a father.
Well, yeah, monkeyboy happens to be a daddy.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, don't call me that.
Oh,
so
a daddy isn't the same thing as a father, though.
Exactly.
But you have to be willing to learn. Your child's going to look at you and know, okay, my dad told me I can't run into the road. I'm going to get hurt. That's a trust thing.
Okay, look.
If I can instill the knowledge,
hold on, please.
But look, what if I could just instill the knowledge into the kid without them needing to experience?
They have to learn, because it doesn't.
Why would we accept that? Why would we accept that?
Yeah, but you're just repeating the claim.
You're just repeating the claim.
Learn? Are you not willing to learn? Then that's where the
you're not. No. Look,
see, she's just not tracking.
Okay, well, let's calm down, Davy. Look, all we're saying is that what's not required is that we learn it.
You might want to talk about the something coming from nothing thing.
I mean, I would.
I was just saying, I don't understand how y'all don't think there isn't a creator.
Well, God came from nothing in any case.
I mean, even science says that energy cannot be destroyed. Where does it go when we die?
I'm sorry, I gotta drop this person.
Can God destroy energy?
We're done with that. Look, AZ, God came from nothing, right?
Wait, I don't understand. When you're saying come from nothing, you're saying that there's no thing that created him, or you're saying that there's something that created him and that thing is called nothing?
Well, the latter one just doesn't make any sense. I would presume AZ agrees. But you believe in the prior one, right? And that's typically what an atheist would say when they mean that the Big Bang came from nothing or something like that, or the universe came from nothing. When they say that, they just mean it came
that there is no
thing
thing which satisfies the predicate created the universe. In
the same way, nothing.
Oh, they left.
Well, just in the same way, nothing explains how God came into existence. There's no.
We chased them all off. He's got. Are there
that other
any
person
theists?
just kept repeating the same claim.
Are there any theists? Or
not worth talking
I talked to that reconstructionist guy, by the way, today, and I might talk.
That guy. That guy's dishonest. That guy's. Although he's more honest with. He's more honest
when he talks to someone that he knows is smart like Danny.
Yeah.
But he becomes
that's
very
why I'm going to try and talk with Danny with him.
We got.
It was just a sloop, though.
What's up?
This live is like the opposite of monkeyboy's live. You actually get guests that aren't like trolls.
Yeah, that's actually surprising.
They're still. They're as incompetent as the people in my live. It's just no troll.
Probably not as bad.
I think everyone is. It's just like very common. What's up, Zen? Get Susie. Are you there?
Yeah. What's up, guys? Can you guys hear me?
Wait, do you watch Bleach?
I sure
I got
do.
a bunch of requests on something.
Oh, that makes sense for the name.
Okay.
Is this only for like Christian theists? Because if that's
no,
the case,
no, you can be another kind of a theist.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't really like to classify myself as in any kind of traditional sense an atheist, but I'm more of somebody that looks at God as.
Do you believe that a mind created the universe?
I don't know. I try to stay away from trying to anthropomorphize.
That's what we mean by theist.
Okay, I understand. I mean, I do believe that there's a God, but I don't try to give him all the the omni traits or anything like that.
Well, you can believe that it's a mind that created the universe that doesn't have the omnis.
Just in a mind that created the universe.
Man. Sure. I guess I could entertain that. Sure. I guess it was a mind.
Entertain that? We're just asking what you believe.
I mean, I don't believe that it was like a mind, but do I believe that?
So what created the universe is more like a clock or like a robot or something. Like no mind there.
Or even
just like a machine.
Some some type of forces.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, okay,
That's
so
compatible. That's compatible with atheism. There are atheists who believe that.
yeah, like more so like there is an embedded principle within existence.
That's all compatible. That's compatible with atheism.
Yeah, for sure. Hold on, guys. Sorry.
Okay, so this person's an atheist.
There's probably no dispute to have. Yeah.
Let's talk with the person above then.
What's up, Helios?
I bet there's a dispute to have with them.
I mean, I'm not an atheist really, because I heavily dabble into like metaphysics and stuff like that, spirituality. But
all of that is, you can be spiritual and have spooky metaphysics and still be an atheist. Just ask any non-naturalist, moral realist atheist.
Really, I didn't.
All we mean by atheist is someone who doesn't believe a mind created the universe.
Yeah, like Michael Huemer is a professional philosopher. He's respected by a lot of people. He believes we have souls. He believes we reincarnate. He believes that they're No, he's respected by most people.
Lucky boy.
He believes that there are non-natural moral entities, like moral facts, like out there in the world, and he's an atheist.
By the way, Davy also doesn't respect him, but
maybe he's an agnostic.
Yeah.
In any case, let's just talk with the guy at the very top. I did not mean to follow him,
but whatever.
Helios.
Hey guys, what's going on, man?
What's up? Do you believe God exists, Helios?
Do I believe God exists?
Yeah.
I don't believe God exists. I know God exists.
I know.
His knowledge entail belief.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know that knowledge is a subset of belief, right? It's a type of belief.
Well, but it's verified.
Well, we didn't ask
if
you have unverified belief. We just asked if you believe it.
Well, I call it more knowledge, but if you think that knowledge is belief,
okay, look, the answer is whatever. Let's just move past. This is just saying. Next time, just don't say that silly stuff. But okay, so you believe God exists. Why?
No, it's important, and I'll tell you why.
It's not important.
No, it's not. Let's not tell us. Let's not tell us. Let's just tell us why you believe in God. Tell us that.
Okay, it all comes down to definitions. Now
you can define God into existence, or are you gonna? Okay.
Yeah, I can define God. And here's what I want to define first. The difference between exist and real. There's a big difference. Exist, which is existence, includes everything, including concepts. In other words, Santa Claus is a concept. Santa Claus exists, but it's not real. Okay? Dragon.
Okay, but look, I use real to mean exist. And
wait, so are you saying God?
That's what I want to clarify first.
Wait, are you saying God is like Santa?
Sorry?
Are you saying God is like Santa or something?
Well, if you would just let me finish, then maybe you could understand what I'm saying. So the definition of existence for me, you could take it.
Real. Let's just go with real. Right? Is God real?
Okay, real. That's different. Now, real is the objective reality. So
okay, is God that? Is he part of objective reality?
Is he in objective reality?
Yes, but it all comes down to the definition of God. So this is what I invite you to do. Let's say that we don't know if God is real or not. Let's look together to see if there's any evidence that proves there's a God. How about that? Now, I suggest we use science and logic to find out if God is real or not, and we do it together, and you tell me if you agree or not.
We're just asking. I thought you said you were going to say what you meant by God.
Well, every time I try to talk, you ask another question and you change it. You don't let me answer the question.
God, this guy's already complaining.
All right, so now God, let's define
God. I'm just asking you what you mean by it.
Okay, what I mean by God, I mean an entity that's infinite. I mean an entity that produces reality, objective reality, and I mean an entity that is in control of life.
Wait, God I thought by real.
Do you agree with that?
I thought by real.
Are you going to continue? I can't hear you when you talk over me, bro.
I'll speak louder. I thought by real you meant a part of objective reality.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Yes, part of a.
But you said God made objective reality.
Yuji shouldn't
I can't hear you when you keep just.
Yuji shouldn't let monkeyboy on in his lives, because then he gets the people that join monkeyboy's lives.
Yeah, he attracts the utter morons.
No, he gets to right. He likes to run. He doesn't like.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
All right, so morons.
You're like a magnet for them.
All right, so here's what God is. God has three qualities. One, it's infinite. 2, produces objective reality, and 3, controls life. That to me is God. So is there something in objective reality that has those 3 qualities? I think so. From science, it tells us that energy.
He produces objective reality and he's part of objective reality?
Did I say that?
Yes.
Yes.
You did.
No, I said,
is there something in objective reality that satisfies
God
those
is infinite?
And you said God is one of them.
I said God
is in objective reality, and you said God is real.
Okay, listen. Okay, I'm going to explain it again. God, to me, the qualities of God are 3. 1 is infinite. 2, produces reality. And 3, controls life. Any questions?
Is the third one a necessary quality?
Yes, it's actually a quality of it. Yes, it automatically controls life.
Okay,
so if we find something that has those three qualities, can we call it God?
So if something
yes
doesn't,
or no, it's a yes or no question.
If something has that quality, then it's not God.
If something has those three qualities, can we call it God?
If something doesn't have that third quality, then it's not God. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that if it doesn't have those three qualities, then it's not a God. Would you agree with that?
Someone else can talk to this person.
Does this thing have knowledge?
Yeah, I stopped talking.
Okay, so
yeah, you can have this.
hold on a second. You can ask all the questions you want. Now,
Just think of Davy as the patient one.
He gave up. That just goes to show how bad this is.
All right, so check this out. Three qualities. It's got to be infinite. Now, as you guys know, I don't know, maybe you guys haven't gone to school yet, but energy cannot be created, cannot be destroyed.
Helio, does this thing have knowledge?
Knowledge, define knowledge.
Justify true belief.
A justified true belief. This thing doesn't have a justified true belief the way you say knowledge. Now, it doesn't have human attributes the way you think they have.
Okay, so then here's the thing, Helios. I think this thing could be compatible with atheism.
Can God create and destroy energy? Just wondering.
Okay, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So no.
Can't create energy.
Cannot create it or be destroyed. What part of that don't you understand?
Wait, so your God can't create or destroy energy either, and he doesn't have knowledge.
Right. Okay. Any more questions?
Yeah. So
here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you this right now. The God that I'm talking about doesn't align with the God you imagine. The God you imagine is not real and doesn't exist, only as a concept.
Yeah.
Okay, you imagine a God and you're like, prove to me that the God I imagine exists. That one is not real.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, brother, but this is not going anywhere. There's so many people that believe in like weird conceptions of God.
Yeah, the second law of thermodynamics, that's only true in an isolated system.
Yeah.
And I think this has also been pointed out that it's not even like an absolutely true law.
Yeah, so many people are confused about that.
I think my favorite thing that came out of his mouth is when he went, check it out.
Check it out.
It's like disc scratching, like boom bap.
Bro almost spit a bar.
Check it.
Use the ad libs.
Bro is actually.
Can you beatbox? Is that what it's called? Monkey Boy, can you do that?
No, I can't. No.
I will.
Aren't you black?
Bro.
Whoa. Bro, let's go down.
Bro.
That's crazy.
Did I just hear that, or am I having a stroke?
Both.
You're probably having a stroke.
Okay, so this person says God, the conscious energy field of existence. What an idiot.
Okay, hello, new guest, Disco Ball Cat, Champagne 8 Ball. How are you?
Yes, that's me.
Do you believe God exists?
100%.
Okay, well, what is your definition of God? Let's get that out of the way.
Really, you should just ask if they believe a mind created the universe.
Okay, yeah. Do you believe?
Am I answering the prompt or not answering your question?
Well, I'm just telling you what we mean by a God when we ask if there's a convincing reason to believe God exists.
I mean, the issue I have is it's not about convincing reasons. It's not about proof. It's about faith.
Well, do you believe a mind?
The answer is no?
Yeah, do you believe a mind created the universe?
A mind created the universe?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I believe God created the universe.
Does God have a mind?
I wouldn't classify it as that.
He doesn't have a mind.
Does he know things?
I don't. What are you talking about?
We're just trying to understand your conception of God.
I don't.
Do you think knowledge is like a mental type
of... He's just not used to the idea that God is a mind, right? That God is conceived.
Let's make this a little more... Sorry, I'll shut up.
I believe that a mind is different from being all-knowing.
Who?
Well, knowledge is like a mental
all-knowing. God is all-knowing.
Yeah, but you need a mind to know things.
So that takes care of that.
Yeah, knowledge is a mental state.
Yeah,
but there's a difference between being all-knowing and having knowledge.
No, but all-knowing means you have...
to have knowledge
you know
just
all
means you have a mind.
Or something like
if you're knowledgeable, it doesn't mean you're all-knowing.
I didn't say that.
What did you say?
I said
to know is to have a mind.
If you're all-knowing, then you have knowledge. If you have knowledge, then you have a mind.
Okay, well, I don't really want to talk about minds and knowledge. I would rather talk about faith and the prompt.
We're not interested in faith. We're interested in
I'm very aware that you have church hurt and you don't want to accept Christ, which is fine.
Also, you believe in Jesus. You believe Jesus is God.
This person's so cringe.
What?
Wait, so you believe
No,
Jesus
your
is God?
church hurt.
Well, guys, I mean, obviously they're going to believe that if their main attack is, okay, it's
What a
about
stupid thing to
let's be
say.
real.
Okay,
Well,
can I?
okay. This is my last guess. So.
Monkey boy
insult
got
anybody.
triggered. Monkey boy got triggered because a woman says she's not interested in philosophy. It reminded him of all the drama when he dumps up about philosophy and they stop listening.
Fuck.
I have 3 kids. I don't know what you're
Can I
talking
answer the
about.
question? No.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great. I believe in the Trinity, but I think Jesus being God is different. I think they're both part of the Holy Spirit, but
Okay.
Hang on.
One of my kids are named Trinity.
the Trinity.
Shut
Do
up.
you know
What should I call you? What should I call you? Person above me who's talking.
Just call
Is it
me
just
Disco.
me?
Just call me Disco.
Okay, Disco. So you had mentioned earlier that it's not about evidence or whatever the fuck you said. It's about faith.
Yes, it's about faith.
Okay.
That's why it's called faith.
Yes, believe me, I've made that connection. So my question to you is: faith a good and reliable metric for determining what's true?
No, that's why it's so.
I was reading a text. Sorry, can you repeat that?
Okay.
Hold on, Evil Panda. We'll get to you.
Is faith a reliable metric for determining what's true?
You should drop this evil guy, by the way.
mean,
he was like in Danny's life, and I can grant you I can tell you he's probably the worst person you would have today.
Well, you can decide that.
Are we like?
I'm low on guests, so I'll keep them.
I believe that.
For myself.
I don't believe that religion should be involved in science or politics. I think it should be apart from that.
Okay.
But I believe.
Not to be
Oh
rude.
my God! Let me finish. That's what because I wasn't able to finish the answer.
Wait, you're not answering the question though.
But
Yeah,
I
guys,
believe.
come on, at least give her a chance to finish. Like this is kind of ridiculous.
Let her finish.
I mean, start with the yes or no or I don't know, and then qualify.
I don't believe that religion leads you to truth, but I believe it leads you to morality, which I think is different.
That's not an answer to the question either.
That's even worse because.
What do you mean that's even worse? It's
So
not
I'll
going to
tell
give
you.
you.
Wait, Joshua, she still didn't answer the question.
I know she
I
didn't,
just
but
did.
Just repeat it.
So I asked her if faith is a reliable thing to use for determining what's true, and she basically said no without saying no. Okay, because Christians do this. Christians are really come on, y'all fucking know this. That Christians.
Of course we know,
Christians
but
are
you
very
need them to explicitly say yes or no. So then they don't. I never said that.
Right. No,
I just have a question to the guy that said that comment about me. Like, did I hurt you?
Wait, hold on, Evil Panda.
My heart's numb and cold. I don't feel hurt anymore.
So what I was saying is, so Disco stated that religion is
Transcended
for
pain and
morality,
hurt.
which is interesting, which I say is worse because, as someone who is like Puerto Rican, I mean, Christianity is the reason why most of us.
Wait, you're Puerto Rican?
Yes, I am, and like most of us were fucking enslaved by Christians. And I get the feeling that now that I've said that there's but that's not, those weren't.
Okay, here's the difference. Is like I'm not my great grandfather, so like they
So
cannot
I
blame
know
me
that,
for.
dude. But look at what Christians are voting for now, Disco. But Disco, look at what Christians are voting for now in droves. They're voting for someone who's essentially someone who platforms people that are white supremacists.
No,
so
I voted for Harris. I didn't vote for Trump.
That's good for you, dude. The majority.
Can we
that's
like
good.
avoid the
let's not go down this line of thought.
But
I'm not pointing this out. I'm not pointing this out.
I don't want Trump to
let's just
represent
ask her.
Christianity
I'm
because
not
he's not
pointing
a
this
real.
out as a
Let's just ask her
political
if she can.
slap. I'm pointing this out as an indicator that Christianity, from a historical point of view, fundamentally has consistently chosen the side of the oppressor more often than
Yeah,
the
but that's
side.
not interesting. Look.
Well, I know it's not interesting, man, but I mean, like, that is the historical truth.
That may be true, but like, there's nothing we can do about that now.
Look, Disco.
Historical fact
convinces
doesn't matter,
there's a
and
God.
it goes to morality. I'm sorry, Monkey. What was that?
Can she attempt to convince us there's a God?
I think that's a better route to take it.
Yeah, let's do that.
But here's the thing. Like, I know that y'all are very firm in your beliefs, which is okay. Like, I don't have any problems with atheists, but like, I'm not going to sit here and like try to prove my way that God is real because that's not my.
I'm very lukewarm.
Well, can you give us any evidence or
like I'm not going to come give you because that's not what it's about.
Okay,
so
you can't give us. Wait,
wait,
Joshua. Okay, wait.
That's why it's called faith.
You can't give us any.
Hold on, you guys evidence, but it's personal.
Thank you. Okay, so you can't give us any evidence or an argument that would be convincing for us to believe God exists. That's what you're saying, right?
Wait, here's the confusion to begin with: is that faith isn't believing something with no evidence, right? It's like the faith is the stuff that is like the rest of the belief after you have some evidence, right?
I mean, I would say that the Bible is proof. The testimonies and the
okay, so then we can talk about the Bible instead or something. I don't know, but we don't think the Bible is really evidence either.
Okay, well, you can believe that, but I mean, there were firsthand witnesses that.
Well, we can discuss over whether it's evidence.
Okay, what do you want to argue?
Let's say we did firsthand witness it.
Yeah.
Right, let's just say that. Why would I think God exists?
Why would you what?
I think God exists from that.
From the Bible? Well, God is
the
also...
Bible is the literature that communicates their experiences that they firsthand attest to, right? What's being asked is why believe the Christian God exists, given that their firsthand accounts are whatever they're experiencing is true or firsthand.
I mean,
witness.
I can tell you why I believe he exists, which might not be good enough for you, but I believe he exists because of a personal experience I've had with him.
One of the reasons is the Bible, and then you said because they have firsthand witnesses.
They do have firsthand witnesses.
Yeah, and that doesn't seem any reason at all to believe in God. Right? Let's just say there are firsthand witnesses. Okay, well, how do we get to God?
How do you get to God? I mean, I don't think it's as cut and dry as you think it is. For me, it was, I have a relationship with God. Like I didn't a long time ago.
One of the reasons is the Bible. How are we getting the Bible?
Monkeyboy. She said she didn't say that you can derive the proposition that God exists from there being first-hand witnesses. She just said that's evidence.
That's precisely what I'm asking for her to show me how that's evidence. Like, why would I think if that were true that somehow moves me towards God?
I mean, think about like the story of Moses, where he claims to have been told by God to take all the animals onto his ark. But that's also some of you that might not be
Moses. That was Noah.
What?
Yeah, that was Noah.
Moses. You said Moses took the animals on the ark. That's not Moses. That was Noah.
Did I?
Well, let's just say the Noah's Ark was true. Okay, well,
and so also why
would I think there's a God?
That's why it's called faith. Like it's, I don't know what you want me to say.
No, I'm saying how is there even, like, what's the reason from that fact to think that there's God?
There's no reasoning. It's faith. You're not going to get a satisfactory answer.
Then why would you just be dishonest and answer at all? When I asked you what are the reasons you gave me, I asked you what are the reasons. You listed a name of reasons. Then when I asked you, then we try and get deep into one of those reasons, and now you're saying it's not even a reason. It was never a reason. It's just faith. There's no reason.
There is reason. The Bible is firsthand accounts.
Oh my God, this person.
What do you mean, this person?
A waste of time. Let's just talk with.
It doesn't seem like
above her.
Here, Disco. we're gonna end it, but the reason is because it seems like
women, bro.
It seems like, oh my God. It seems like the reason is because you don't.
That's a little ridiculous, but okay.
Yeah, the reason is because it seems like you don't have like an argument or any evidence that you could provide to us that would raise our credence that God exists.
I just don't believe. I don't believe any Christian would be able to give you a cut and dry answer that you want, and that's why you're doing this is because you know that.
I think there's some evidence that you can give. Sorry, by the way, but hi y'all. My name's Joseph. I think it's actually a really, really cool conversation that you guys are having. So I'm glad to join.
Okay.
Wait, let me say something real quick. Monkeyboy, to say it's always the women is fucking ridiculous, considering how stupid all the men we've gotten today are.
Yeah, for real. That was kind of
I was just trolling with that.
I feel that's not right of your 3 children.
That's not dude.
Look, all my 3 children are girls, and anyways, right?
It doesn't matter. That's not a good thing to say. Period.
Yeah, you should.
I don't give a shit about you. Like,
okay, well, if you were trolling,
if you want to be that way, that's okay. I'm just saying that's not a good thing to say. But you do you.
I really don't care.
Okay.
I mean,
all right.
Okay.
Joshua, you're the least productive to this conversation, anyways.
That may be true, but I'm not saying that shit.
Well, look,
I was neither genuine when I was saying it. Whether or not you don't like the joke is whatever. It's not that big of a deal.
I don't get it. What's so funny about it?
It wasn't. The only reason I said
you don't get it. That's the point.
Joseph, what's so funny about it? Oh, sorry, go ahead, David.
The only reason I said
you just don't find it humorous. That's fine.
Well, I genuinely don't.
Someone loves this type of pizza, and then you put it in your mouth, and you're like, "What? What's so good about it?" Right? But they say it's the best pizza ever. It's just a difference in values. They value certain humorous stuff, just like you can have differences in taste in what you value gastronomically. Okay.
Whatever. If you want to unalive on this hill, man,
give a shit.
That's cool. I'm fine dropping it here, dude. Whatever.
Yeah.
The only reason I brought it up, Monkeyboy. The only reason I brought it up again was because it wasn't clear that you were actually trolling. You could have just said something out of pocket because you were triggered.
It's not like I haven't said that thing a million times in front of Anne and other women, right?
Okay, but those are friends.
Yeah, but you think in those cases I mean it in a way that's non-genuine, and here I do.
Okay, then if it's genuine, then how is it a joke?
Not genuine.
Well, yeah, that's what he's saying.
My point is, if I'm obviously joking in the cases with Anne, you think in this case where Anne's not around, I'm saying that genuinely?
I don't see why not.
Okay, bro.
He's not. Oh, okay. What's up, Joseph?
Wait, when you say you don't see why not, you think it's equally probable that...
Oh my God.
Because I would... That just sounds stupid.
It doesn't really seem connected to me. You could be joking about that with someone, but then be serious when it's someone who's not your friend. But anyway.
Let's just talk to Joseph.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How you doing?
Hello, Joseph. Do you believe God exists? Obviously you do, based on what you said before.
Yeah. So I'm a Christian. Definitely, I would say I definitely have had a personal experience that would draw me to the belief that there is a God. But I would also say I'm pretty passionate about apologetics. So, like, I think probably the only thing I could really add in this conversation, whenever I joined, I heard someone talk about Christianity being an oppressed religion, which, or not an oppressed religion, or being on the side of the oppressor. And I agree with obviously certain historical facts about Christianity, like being on the oppressive side, whether it's Crusades or even in America, like it's the majority of, I think it's, at least for a while, it was majority Christians. But I'd also argue that there's a good amount of history that would lend itself to, especially at the origin of Christianity being very oppressed. I mean, you could look at other countries of Christianity being oppressed. I don't believe Christianity is always the oppressor.
Yeah, that's fine. None of us are going to dispute that right now. But
yeah, like,
hey, I would love to get to the actual argument of, believing God exists. And this is more a question for y'all. But more of my contention has to do with the cosmological argument and just the origin of the universe. And, obviously, I think we all have to have a little bit, somewhat of faith to kind of believe in what we believe as far as the origin of the universe.
So
I just don't see...
So are you talking about the Kalam cosmology?
Or the beginning of the universe could actually explain that everything is here? Because, and I'm going to use this argument. I know it's not obviously the best argument in the world, but like the complexity of the universe I find to be pretty overwhelming when it comes to.
Joseph,
you're really you're kind of going on like a long tangent. Well, not a tangent, but like.
No, go for it. You guys, I'm trying to guess. I'm a little bit of a rambler, so that's my bad.
Yeah, I can tell, but
it's all good.
Hey, I respect the honesty.
You brought up cosmological arguments, but then you started talking about complexity and design. So I'm not sure which one you're talking about. I feel like we should do one at a time.
Well, sure. Yeah, I was just meaning the complexity of the universe and how vast it is, and how like I just don't believe a chaotic event could create such order and and complexity that all functions we can actually quantify things. Like that's one of my contentions.
Wait, so do you just want to talk about the Kalam cosmological argument or some other cosmological argument or what?
I mean, I would just love to hear how. I mean, again, I'm going to boil it down to simple, but just the idea of life coming from non-life. Like, how do you explain that from y'all's perspective?
Abiogenesis. Well, I don't think there's any scientific consensus that life can't come from non-life. So I would just.
I know. So, like, how did we get the universe? If there, I mean, obviously, you have to believe something like matter is eternal. Like, there was something, but how did that something come to existence?
Well, let's just say we don't know. Why should we think that God is the explanation?
Wait, why would we have to think matter is eternal?
Well, just because like you have to believe that something like has to always exist in order for something to be like brought about.
Why wouldn't we think there's just like some first moment?
I mean, I know. I just like in nature, if I'm just going based on evidence or what I've been able to perceive in nature, I've never been able to see something just come out of nowhere, or even just a random explosion or random rapid expansion of the universe.
This is more jumping around. This sounds like a causal principle rather than a beginning of time.
This guy's also not going to be interesting.
Maybe. Are you talking about a causal principle? Were you making some inductive argument like for everything I've observed it has some beginning, so everything has some sort of beginning?
I just think it's such a jump in rationale to be like to I know it's like obviously you can't explain God. Like there's no burden of proof for God, right? Like I can't actually tangibly prove that he exists.
Can we not jump to something else? Like can we just stay on topic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just trying to explain that like you guys are like why jump to the conclusion that God exists, and I'm also saying like
no. Who said that? Who said that?
I thought that's where y'all were going with that argument. You're like, why do we have to,
No, we were talking about your argument.
Okay, so with the origin of the universe, okay, let's just go to that, origin of the universe. Like, how do you explain to me rationally that the whole universe came to be what it was through natural processes?
How do we explain it?
Who said this? What?
No.
Who said it was only natural processes?
Wait, guys, you guys are gaslighting me. This is a simple question. Like, this is not a complex question. How do you explain to me that the universe naturally began? No. Listen. No. How do you explain the universe began naturally, and we have...
Here you go. What we're asking is why think theism over atheism, right? And atheism doesn't comment on there being strictly natural things or natural processes to explain certain natural phenomena.
Yeah,
so when you say, what's the natural explanation? You're presuming that first there is one and acting as if atheism makes that commitment.
Okay, so what's the unnatural beginning of the universe?
No.
But we're not making the commitment. We're not making the commitment that there is a natural beginning or that there is a natural explanation or a non-natural explanation. You're the one who like presupposed that to begin with.
Okay, just move away from the questions you're asking, right? Because we're concerned.
I won't talk to you. You guys just go.
Stop asking us about our beliefs.
Okay.
Look. Okay, so you think that there's certain. What was it you said? There's complexities of the world.
Yeah.
Okay, and why would that make me believe that there's a God?
Because I mean, again, I just have how does something just come about and perform like in?
That's a question. Again, what we want is reasons in light of the belief you have. So not being faced with an answer to the question is just obviously not a reason. We want to know your reasons that you currently adopt for having the view.
Okay.
Reasons that motivate the view. Okay, so let's try it again. There's complexities in the world. So what?
Complexity in the world. I'm going to talk about like conscience and the idea of humans being able to have higher thinking. How we're all again. I would have to go to just the uniquely designed. Like, that's why I believe... this doesn't have to be a God argument as much as an intelligent design.
Yeah, well, it's not... Well, obviously, he probably doesn't know what is like the distinction between cosmological arguments and design arguments. But in any case,
I don't know why you'd say that.
You think he knows the distinction?
I don't think
he said he likes apologetics.
Yeah, but he said he was running a cosmological argument when he gave design. That's just evidence he doesn't know the distinction.
Okay.
And he also seems like one of those confused ramblers, which also makes it likely he doesn't really know. But
yeah.
In any case, look. So we have complexity, and why would that make me think there's a God? You said something about design. What do you mean by design?
Yeah, just I mean, again, I'm not even talking about God, but let's just bring it back to, like, I just believe more, if we're going to go scientific basis, like just intelligent design. I just don't think that all this could have come about chaotically. And we
again don't make those comments about anything that doesn't relate to your reasons.
Okay.
Look, again, the opposite of God is not chaos. Okay. So let's just try this again. Don't say because this other view seems bad, that's why I believe in this. We want to just know.
Can you explain to me?
No. I just want to know. So let's say we have complexity. Why is that reason to believe in God?
Because I don't believe anything complex can come from something that's like who we are as human beings and like how the Earth was formed. I don't see that not coming from an intelligent designer. That's
so it's just incredulity. Is that it? You're just incredulous because that's not saying anything interesting. It's just fallacious. I can't imagine how it's not God. Therefore, it's God. Look, what we're asking for are actual reasons.
I'm asking you. We're having a conversation of like, is there any convincing reason?
So let's just attempt to try to give a non-fallacious answer. All right.
Okay.
So, we have complexity. Why would I think there's a God?
I'm not sure I can give you any reasons to accept. I need to know what you believe about how the universe came to be.
If you already have reasons yourself, you could just communicate the reasons. It's not like you were unjustified before talking with me or consulting my beliefs. If you're already justified, just communicate the justification. That's all I'm asking for. Why would I think from the fact there's complexity, there's God?
Okay. If you're asking for my words, this is what I would say. If there is complexity in the world, it's because I believe in a complex God who creates things that I don't believe anything else would be able to create. All right.
Right, but that doesn't do anything.
No, it's the issue. Bro, okay, you're asking for my answer, and then all of a sudden you say it's bogus, bro. Like, why do you have to be such?
I never said it's bogus. I said that's not the reason I'm responding the way I am is because if you want to answer the problem of there being physical complexity with God, and now you're saying what explains the physical complexity is a supernatural complexity, then that doesn't resolve anything because now I could just ask what explains the supernatural complexity.
But that's the whole point. It's like the idea of a God being within human reason, or being like, we're finite creatures, right? Like the whole idea of a God is being outside of existence. He's an infinite being. He doesn't have to have a beginning or end.
Existence. You're not.
He's outside of our human existence. Like he's outside of our confines of time.
Are you just saying he's non-physical?
Yeah, he's non-physical, or he could be physical. No, that's what I'm saying. He's God. We can't fully comprehend him. If we could comprehend him, he wouldn't be God.
But look, you just all you said is the reason to believe from complexity to God is you just think that a supernatural complex thing explains the physical complexity. But that's
I feel like that's reason enough, and you're not going to give me an argument.
That's not a reason.
Say how the universe came to be complex from a simple process.
That's not a reason. That's not a reason. All you're saying is that you believe that supernatural complexities explain physical complexities. That's just a different way.
Gaslighting me right now.
That's just a different way. That's just a different way to say that if the world's complex, then a God. And it's not clear why I would believe that. Okay, why would I think if there's physical complexities, it's explained by a non-physical complex thing? Why would I think that? Specifically God.
Because again, when is the last time you saw something within nature? Like, look, dude. I mean, like,
is God's complexity explained by anything?
No, it can't be though. That's the whole point. Is like
why can't the universe? Why can't the universe be unexplained?
Because the universe is quantifiable. We've been able to take measurements. We're able to actually understand the universe.
If it's quantifiable, then its complexity must be explained. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it's quantifiable and it's complex, right? Like we're able to understand.
No, are you saying that if it's quantifiable, then its complexity must be explained?
I don't know if I could give you a concrete like yes or no to that.
So then why would you say that? What you said is the reason to think that the universe, while being complex, is explained whilst God is complex and he isn't, is because the universe is quantifiable. What that just means is you're saying if something's quantifiable, then it's explained, its complexity. And if that's not what you're saying, then I don't know what you're saying, because it's still then unclear. Why would I think that the universe requires an explanation for its complexity if that's not the same for God? Seems like a special pleading.
Yeah.
Is God not quantifiable?
No, he's not quantifiable.
Oh, really? And why would I think something like that?
I don't know, man. I don't know what else I can give you. I was trying to get somewhere. I wanted to know.
I'm asking you why don't you think he's quantifiable?
Universe. I mean, like, again, it's just hard. Yeah, go for it. Sorry.
I think the biggest thing that I have with people that argue like this is that they think that if you have an explanation for something and someone else doesn't, then that means your explanation, like people should hold to that explanation. They think that their explanation is more likely. I think that's not the case. So like if you believe God explains complexity, or you believe God explains the beginning of the universe, and then we can't provide another explanation, doesn't mean that your explanation is more likely or like we should hold to that. You know?
Wait, but you don't think that, right, Joseph?
I'm not sure I have an answer. I don't know if I follow. I followed the question, but I don't know if I have like a yes or no.
But look, I just want to know why you don't think God's quantifiable.
You don't think that if I don't have an explanation for something and someone does, then I should rather believe their explanation in virtue of the fact that it's an explanation rather than.
Sure. Okay, fair. Yeah, I see where you're going. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not going to ask y'all to jump where I am just based on that. I think one of the cosmological arguments is also in alignment with what I believe. Like, this is a whole other turn of topics, but
you never gave a cosmological argument. But look,
okay.
I just want to.
Let me finish. The last thing is, I would just argue for the personhood of Jesus and his existence, what he claimed to be, who he claimed to be, and if he was right and true in what he did. I mean, this is actually evidence, right?
But look, why do you think God's not quantifiable?
Well, again, I already gave you my answer, which was that he's not quantifiable because he's God. He's God. No, he's God. He's outside of time
that's not
and
an
space.
answer.
It is an answer. He's a supernatural being.
Well, look, it's like if I said the reason God doesn't exist is because there's no God, and you ask me why is there no God? Because there's no God. What you just did, and the reason that's analogous is because I asked you why is God not. This guy's a waste of time.
Oh, great, dude, you are such a bundle of kindness. I love how respectful you are. It's incredible.
Why would I? You're like so fucking dishonest.
What do you mean?
Said, what's the point? What's the point of having a type of intellectual discourse or some type of dispute about some matter with someone who doesn't care if their reasoning is just like stupid? Like you're fine with me.
No, that's what I'm saying. I can't. Hey, I want you to listen. I came on.
Your standards are garbage for having a
respectful conversation. I even just led off the conversation with I think this is an important conversation.
No one cares about the respectful.
But dude, you are being so disrespectful and unkind in this conversation.
The point, I don't care. The point is, why would you?
But dude, you're calling me all these names, bro. And
look, just get out. Like no one cares. So cringe.
I like how you're.
How do you talk with someone who doesn't care that? This app is weird.
Yeah. What's up, Dave?
Hey, how you doing, guys? I'm not here to give you any reasons, though, but I was listening to the conversation and just, it's interesting, and I've been enjoying, the perspective of the different points of view.
Yes, same.
I don't think that there is any being out there that's going to affect the rest of our lives or what we're doing here on Earth. I think that at this point, now maybe, I'm not outside the realm of thinking that maybe at some point there was, but if there was, it's no longer interested in what we're doing, and we're on.
Okay, and well,
I can see. I show you the evidence, but I'm more along the lines of thinking the way you guys are thinking.
Okay, well, Dave. I mean, I appreciate you sharing your perspective. I am mostly looking to talk to people who do believe a God exists and want to give like an argument for existence.
Go to the next guy. I'm listening.
Okay, sounds good. What's up, Red Right Hand?
What's up?
So it seems like you're Christian, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think there are convincing reasons to believe that God exists?
Yeah.
What are those reasons?
Well, I mean, I can kind of give like a situation, and you guys kind of see what you guys think. I think one main reason, I think we all have a moral code on our heart that lines up with the Bible. I can kind of give like a scenario, like explain this.
Or give your analogy right up.
Our moral code, does our moral code
let's say like
does it include like genocide?
Jack, it's really hard to hear you.
Let's say like
sorry, does our moral code include like genocide of the Amalekites or something like that?
No, let's say like we lived on an island, right? Like an anarchic island, right?
No law. I say that.
All right. Like no laws, nothing, right? Like would you still like murder people? Would you still like, or would you still uphold to those morals you have because deep down it's wrong?
I have moral intuitions that I just have intuitively.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Why if I have those, should I think that God exists?
Well, because like if you're created that way, so basically I think what all this is getting to is kind of another thing is like I guess another question is like the afterlife is something, right? Like okay, let's say this. Right?
Well, hold on. Analogy. Red right hand. Just before you wanted to bring up morality and our intuitions. Yeah, I'm fine with switching topics, but is that no longer a reason that you want to give?
That's what's up? Yeah. It was kind of like leading into that, but yeah.
Okay, so you want to switch topics? Okay, what's the new topic?
No, so basically what I was saying is like, let's say back to the island, right? Let's say when like God doesn't exist, there's nothing, right? Like when we die, we just cease to exist. Like no, like so basically, you take someone that's lived a good life, they die. Someone who's murdered, done all this, but in their society, they're not punished because there's no laws. It's anarchic. So there's nothing, right? So when they die,
you're saying that our morality coincides with the Bible, right?
What?
You're saying our morality coincides with the Bible.
Yeah. Like,
So, like,
do
you feel, does your morality one in which you think the Amalekites should be genocided?
You what?
Wait, say genocide, Jack, please. Sorry.
The Amalekites should be slaughtered.
No, I'm saying like.
But that's in the Bible, right? And God endorses that, right?
Why what?
That's in the Bible, and God endorses that, right?
There's other things that he endorses.
Eugene, I know you want
on the context.
convincing reason. So are you looking for scientific proof? Because if you just look at DNA.
Katerina.
Okay.
I'm trying to understand, like, what's going on with the slaughter of the Amalekites? Because it's not morally intuitive to me that that's a good thing, right? So I would just say that's a counterexample, but maybe that suggests that the Bible doesn't actually track our concept of the good. Because I think probably a lot of people would agree with me that there's something problematic about that story.
I'm gonna try to get my walk in, a little bit of a walk in.
Red hand, if you're outside the app, we can't hear you. Hello, red hand, are you there?
Yo, hello.
Okay, there, we can hear you now. Did you want to answer Jack's question?
No, I was muted for a second.
Okay. Do you want to repeat it, Jack, or I can repeat it for you if you want?
No, I was just saying that, like, I don't have the intuition that the slaughter of the Amalekites was a good thing. And so I would say that that's evidence that the morality of the Bible doesn't actually coincide with my morality, or probably like a lot of people who would agree with me that there's something problematic about that story. Why not just take that as evidence that the Bible is not, doesn't actually record a morality that is written into our hearts, but some other morality.
We're talking about sovereignty in God's plan.
But is that supposed to be an answer to the question?
Well, I mean, it's hard to explain, but like if you're a Christian, right, you're living with the Holy Spirit. If you've blasphemed yourself, you're sinning. Like it gets like God will always uphold to the righteous and the faithful. So like if there's blasphemed people that are, they need to like be taken care of, and there's like, there is like.
Is it supposed to be a reason for atheists to believe?
I feel like if you want, I feel like you're looking for a scientific explanation that God does exist, and if you want to try to find that, there is a Bible.
I'm leaving.